if I'm going to be doing any bees again this year. We'll see. He was spraying it super quick a minute ago. He must be running out of chemical and getting ready to. It's so sad. My bees won't even go outside in the summer when that's going on. It makes this like thin, wispy looking cloud. This will be less bouncy once I stop drinking coffee here. Get off the road. I think that was my boss that just drove by. Super nice people, my new boss. I'm so tired of the weather modification. Sometimes they have 3 planes just going back and forth and back and forth. See all the Macy tracks. Looks like that's still firm enough to get down. I'm gonna guzzle my coffee real quick, and I'll try to get down this stuff. See if I go sideways. Lots of big moosey trap. Oh, man down. Some moose hair. Oh my goodness. This is the thick part. So hard to get through here. Big pile of moose poop. So I can make a rabbit list. Wolf or coyote tracks. Let's see. Some of his hair. See if that's reddish hair. Hold it up into the light. No, it looks pretty gray. Probably a wolf. Wolf tracks. You can see some more of his hair there. They're getting ready to start shedding. I'm following the most heavily used trail right here because this is where the moose would likely drop an antler, which should be done already, but I'm hoping that I find one. Some ravens. Look, look, look. Look. The clouds are getting pink. It's gonna get cold tonight. See all the pinkness, the alpenglow. More moose poop. Glad we're keeping reception this time. When I was up at my campsite, I noticed that someone had been out there, which is really weird. There was a knife stuck in the tree. There was a couple towels hanging on a branch. And I don't remember ever having anybody stay out there after the season. It's kind of strange. See all these moose tracks. More moose poop. I'm going to set the phone down when I get to the bottom here. And I'll do a couple predator calls. See if we can call in some coyotes or moose or wolves. Or not moose. Coyotes or lynx or wolves. So I'll take this piece of flagging tape, I'll mimic a rabbit squeal. Now as I keep walking, we'll see if anything pops out of the bushes. Just see what's going on. If you see a moose antler, scream real loud and let me know, point where it's at. Turn this camera around. Howdy everybody, thanks for joining. Find. Sure is a lot of slime, there's poo everywhere. So you'll remember like a few weeks ago that I walked through here. You can see where the moose have all of a sudden like been over here. See all those freshly ripped down alders there? And this was my old snowshoe path, and look how many moose tracks are there. It almost like makes me think of Genesis before the fall, when Adam was close to all the animals, and all the animals followed him and they weren't afraid of him. It's like the moose feel some kind of safety walking where I walked before, and all of a sudden all these tracks appear. It's like a moose highway opened up, where before there wasn't any moose. They've been sleeping right on my tracks. You can see everywhere where I walked, it's all moose tracks. My old tracks. Isn't that funny? Creek is opened up there. And it's funny because it's like not just a couple places where I walked, but everywhere where I walked. Yep, they're massive here. Some moose make other moose look small. And this time of year is still very dangerous to be hiking out there. So, of course, I have protection with me because brown bears will wake up and hunt during these warm spells. Another moose head. See where the moose have been ripping branches down. Look at that moose track, how big that is compared to my foot. Right on all my old tracks. That might be brown tracks. Actually, it is. See that? Those. So there was a brown bear up already during this warm spell. Yeah. See that? There's his paw pad and his claws in front of his toes. Last year in the spring, I came through here and there was a sow with cubs in this very stand right here. And I got huffed at and she started popping her teeth. It was like young cubs with small feet. Because after I walked out of there, I saw their tracks in the mud right in front of here. I think these are her tracks right here. Yep. You can see how they almost look like handprints. And they just hung out right along the river there. They're probably denned up in my other 10 acres that's way up in there on that bluff, the high spot of the trees. I own that bowl of land, and there's a creek that comes out of it and goes out here. Actually, it comes right through here, my creek. Well, I'll walk a little closer to the river edge, and then I'll start going back towards the house. Last year I found a moose antler right here. More moose beds. See. I crossed there. This is deep, but I crossed where the moose did. You can see how dark it's getting so fast. It always makes me jump when that happens. Now I'll just keep my sidearm in my hand when I'm coming through all this thick stuff.